I'm good.
I think snake people all live in a bubble. That's just us.
That's it. That's what we do, right?
Yeah, unless you have other snake friends, which I do see homies who happen to have snake, like, for instance, we'll talk, you have a lot of snake friends. Like we had your homie Bob Vu, who was on here not too long ago, which we'll get into a little bit, but yeah, the bubble, bro. I'm telling you, I think Kevin McCurley was the first person to say it on the other podcast that we're literally trained for fucking lockdowns like this. Like
exactly. Yeah. No, the only thing that happened with it is I wasn't weird anymore because everybo's doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Normalcy, man.
Exactly. We're just going along with the fucking, with the program here.
That's right.
Which ain't changing shit for us really. So that's cool.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad, man. Well, Matt, I was telling the people how excited I am to have you on tonight because, I was, like, I'm not gonna lie, man. You saw how passionate I was about, the snakes you were working with. I actually have one of your fucking Burmeses who I was able to, and she's fucking just flawless, bro. Oh my God. She's huge. I just realized, which we'll talk also about the whole feeding thing. It's not that I overfed her. I just fed her like just too often. You know what I mean? Like she was already a get to the point where, it's 4 years old. That's an adult, you would say, right? Because she's 4 now, right?
3.5, yeah.
3.5, 4. So not that it's a bad thing, but it doesn't hurt either to give her like less meals versus like once a week, right? I think once a week you don't like. I guess we could just get right into fucking feeding since I'm talking about it. But when when a snake is as big as 8 feet, 9 feet, or an adult, right? When should that feeding schedule switch? When should it go from a week to like, all right, spread that out a little bit more?
In my opinion, really, when they get, I don't know, kind of a size scenario, about 6 foot or so, maybe even 7, I tend to go every other week. Not so much because it's better or it's ideal, just because they don't need as much, and it just gives me a break from cleaning every week.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I do have some adult snakes. I don't know if you've seen that giant fruit basket I have. The thing's like 16 feet long. I feed her every week, but I feed her smaller meals just because she likes guinea pigs. So I think it can go either way. All the clutch mates of your berm that I still have, I do, I guess not all, because, all right, so let's take it back. The one Kenny had, all right, so he had the 2, right? You got one, I got one.
I have 2, or like the one I have now, right?
Yep. And so that one I do every other week just because Kenny got them so well established. That one came in twice the size of the ones that I had. So right now, the other clutch mates, I'm trying to catch up to it. So I'm doing them every week, especially right now, because I'm trying to make something happen with them this season, right? So I'm trying to like pound them in so I can start pairing them up. Does that make sense? So to answer your question, there is no right answer. Just whatever's working for you. If she is looking a little thick, then you can pull back. If she's not looking, so that's kind of what I go by, is that thickness. There's like a 9 foot snake that can be this big, and there's a 9 foot snake that's like this, right?
Right.
You just kind of gauge off that.
Right. What's crazy also is like you can, like, no matter which route you take, there's always going to be somebody who's not happy with it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No matter what.
Because it's like there's not necessarily a right answer. There can be, there's like a couple wrong ones, right? Which would be like, don't feed them or feed them a ton. But everywhere in between, you're not right or you're not wrong. It's just whatever's working for you. And, again, like I said, I do the every other because then I have to clean every other, right? So that just works for me and my schedule and the kind of the system I have. So it's all kind of right, as long as the snakes thrive and run it.
Is it kind of like how some parents will never feed their kids McDonald's, but then there's actually some kids who actually eat McDonald's and they grow up perfectly healthy and fine? It's just like,
exactly. Perfect metaphor right there. Yeah.
All right. I nailed it. Nailed it. Now, speaking of McDonald's, when was the last time you ever touched a French fry? I'm just curious because you're swole, bro. Like and we'll get into your body fat in just a second, but like, what was the last time you touched a French fry or anything fried? I'm just curious. Or you had a carb? I want to know.
I'm serious. An awkward question. No, so I eat a lot of carbs, and I will work some French fries in. We call it a refeed. Sometimes you need to get that stuff in, and it's fuel. But yeah, it's not unusual. I brought snacks. I didn't know how long we'd go, so I got some Oreos and I got some Nico cookies in case the blood sugar needs to be leveled out. You know, if you see me bust out an Oreo, just mind your business and let me keep going.
I don't mind. Your
But
homie, your homie Bob was throwing down chicken wings, I think, during our episode. He was,
That's about right. Yeah,
it was
that or
amazing.
noodles. That's his jam.
Yeah, it was an amazing episode. Now, I will say, man, respect. Ever since I've followed you, man, you've always had your fitness game on point. Like, and I could tell you're a scheduled ass, structured motherfucker because I wake up shit ass early. But then what I'll look at is like I'll see that you post stories as soon as you wake up, and you wake up fucking like it'll say I'll wake up like let's say I wake up at 3 a.m. Like you literally had already woken up. Like it's like you're up early as fuck. Now is that like all the time? Is that a Monday through Friday thing? What's up with your schedule? Because you're up and cracking like early.
So that is for the most part. Well, yeah. So I wake up at 3:30 during the week, so it is very early. And I kind of have, as soon as my eyes open, I peek at the clock, that brain starts going, man. And it's like hard to go back to sleep. So, I mean, there's times where you're the same. Well, I imagine you are as high strung as you are. So like, you wake up and it'll be like 2:30, like, all right, cool, I got another hour. And you're sitting there and you wake up and it's like 2:34. It's like, come on, bro. Then you lay there and it's like, all right, it's 2:41. It's like, screw it, I'm getting up. So it's not unusual for me to just go ahead and get up at 2:45. Let's get it rolled. Let's get the cages cleaned. So that is like a Monday through Friday thing. During the weekend, because I don't have to go to work, I might get crazy and sleep until 5:45. You never know. Maybe I go to 6 one day.
Right.
But I do get up early, and the world's off at that time. It's like that. Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird. It's like I feel like I'm the only one up, and it's that time where nobody's really pulling at me, nobody's asking anything, and you just kind of zone out and I don't know, reflect and get ready for the day.
That's why I love my mornings, man. I have I have my mornings to like I wake up early enough to where like I literally have nobody needing anything from me for at least the next 4 hours or so.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Nothing against my wife. Shout out to my wife. Not that she always needs something from me, but I'm just saying, like, there's fucking like, bro, I'm literally in like peace. Like nobody, I don't know. I just love it. My mornings are everything to me, bro. And I've never really been
the same way.
Never really been a night owl. When I partied, I was a night owl, but even then I like had stuff to keep me up. But like, I fucking just value my mornings. I just love the mornings because what you said, there's like nobody around. Like just saying, like it's just like your first one of the show type of thing. You know what I mean? And you get shit going. You know what I mean? So that's sick, dude. So
same way.
Now, basically, I mean, when because you're handling like first thing in the morning, your stories, you're handling your big girls, and you're always handling big snakes from what I can see, dude. And you're always by yourself. So, I know people always trip out when even when they come see my snakes, like, oh man, isn't that dangerous to have, snake like that by yourself? I'm sure you get asked that a lot too, right? Like, as far as like you keeping so many big snakes and like whatnot and so forth, even though that could be really dangerous, but I'm sure you have a lot of great safety measures that you take. But what are some of the things that you've always done to make sure that you're keeping big ass snakes like that?
I mean, not a ton. So initially when you go in, you're going to know whether you need to mess with her or not. Right. So we know the feeding responses, and generally they're going to be very telegraphed that they're ready to eat. So the tap training, go in with the hook. And that will usually, you can gauge, all right, so they'll come up and you touch them and they'll back down, and it's very obvious when you snap them out of it. Because they do, it is a feeding mode. They have like on and off, and that's it. So once you turn that off, usually pretty good. Now you still need to go in very cautiously because it could turn right back around, but it's not foolproof. But once that's turned off, you're pretty much, I would say, clear. Get them out, put them in the tub. Outside of that, I don't really have any other precautions. Maybe that's why I do stories, so I can alert somebody. I don't know, but it's just that initial. I will say too, though, like they do have personalities, and some of them are moody. If they're in that mood where they won't let you get them, or they are bucking you a lot, just close the tub, right? Like I don't ever like unless they're kind of giving me a very clear signal that, hey, we're good today, I don't mess with them. That makes sense. And if you mess with them a lot, the big retics, you'll know what I'm talking about. And some of them they have a mood. I have one that I go in and I'll usually go with a paper towel on her. She's a little higher, and if she squares up, don't even mess with her. Holler at her tomorrow. But if you touch her and she's in a good mood, she'll kind of crawl away, and then you're fine. And she's sweet as can be, but she lets you know, and that's what's cool about the retics. They'll let you know, like, hey man, today's not the day. Now, if I have a big one out and something happened, then I'm tapped out. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. So I feed my cats. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've that's exactly what I've done, man. I've always read the body, their body language in some days are better than others, but